Today is our Monday drop. I'll be busy today, but it's going to be a good day. Remember, God is good. This is a encounter I wanted to share with you guys. I'm using a different way to try to record my voice. Hopefully, it will give you all a better sound. If it doesn't, please let me know in the comments. I'm working on this as best as I can. Just beyond the San Gabriel Valley lies the Angeles National Forest, a place of beauty and recreation for most Angelians. The forest also holds its own dark secrets. 11-year-old Brenda Howell from North Carolina was visiting her sister for the summer and had found a new friend and neighbor, 13-year-old Donald Baker. On August 5, 1956, the two children set off on their bikes to play in the forest before church service at 8:30 that morning. They were never seen again. Despite the efforts of the Navy, the police department, and hundreds of volunteers combing the area around the San Gabriel Reservoir, below the Morris Dam, the only sign of them was Brenda's bicycle and Donald's jacket hidden in some brush. There was no sign of them until over 2 months later in late October, when Donald's bike appeared on the bike rack at Glendora Elementary School. One of the students admitted to finding it in the forest the day of the children's disappearance. They were not to be the last to vanish. The following spring of 1957, the Bowman family went for a hike along one of the trails near Devil's Gate Reservoir. Elton Bowman and his brother-in-law, Gordon Wicks, brought along their children, all five ranging in age from 4 to 8. The eldest, Tommy, ran a bit ahead at one point, wanting to be the first to reach the clearing ahead. He rounded the corner, going out of the men's eyesight, and moments later, they too rounded the corner. But Tommy was not there. Not immediately concerned and assuming they would see Tommy in the clearing just ahead, the men collected all the children together, and when Tommy was not among them, the search began. It had only been a few minutes. Within 2 hours, the area was swarming with law enforcement personnel who were rapidly joined by over 400 volunteers. Helicopters were dispatched along with mounted patrol, and the search and rescue canine unit. They searched for a week to no avail. 3 years later, on the morning of July 13th, 1960, Mr. and Miss Joseph Creeman dropped off their 6-year-old son, Bruce, at the YMCA summer camp. The group of children was escorted to the forest for a hike by the camp leader. While on the hike, the camp leader saw that Bruce began to fatigue early and kept on trailing behind. Since they had not gone far and were still within sight of their camp, the leader instructed Bruce to return to camp and rest. They retraced their steps along the well-marked trail back to the camp, and when they came within a few yards of it, Bruce was sent on ahead while the leader remained on the trail. Watching until Bruce was almost there, the leader turned and went back up to the trail to continue on with the other children. If Bruce made it safely into the camp, no one will ever know. Once again, the forest was swarming with search parties looking for a missing child. Again, there were no clues and no remains. He has never been found. In years to follow, the area became known as the Forest of Disappearing Children. If you take your little ones into the woods, you better hold on to their hands tightly. There has been sounds of children screaming for help in these woods. People have heard them all over. There has also been the howls and groans and moans of other things that people know not to be human. Do these creatures steal our children? And if they do, for what reason do they take them? Do they take them out of curiosity? Or do they take them to feed a hunger? And is that hunger a hunger like we experience? Or is that hunger a hunger that is to devour what they hate as humans? There's a lot of speculation to why these creatures do what they do. But there's one thing that I will always believe. These creatures are evil, and I don't believe there's any good in them. I believe that if they ever let you live, it's because it wasn't an opportunity that they were willing to risk. I believe that they ever have their chance to take you down, they will. and they'll do it without any remorse. There was a child once found in the forest. They had searched and searched for this child, and they could not find him. And finally, as they walked down a dried up river creek, they ran upon his backpack. And when they found his backpack, they found his little feet print in the mud that ran along the creek. The search and rescue team started following it frantically. Every so far, they would find something: a shoe, a sock, and then pieces of his shirt. And when they reached this one spot, they noticed coming over the side of the creek was a lot larger feet print. They were barefoot, 19 inches in length. How deep they sunk, it had to be heavy. They soon started walking over the smaller feet print, which led the investigators to know that whatever this was, it was following the child. As the child made his way down the creek, you could tell that this creature, by the trackers, started picking up its pace, as if it was trying to catch him. At the end of the creek, there was a little bit of water, but still enough room in this dry creek to walk the sides. There was an old tree. When they reached the old tree, they'd set to rest. One of the search and rescue members could smell a smell. As they got to looking around, they saw the color of the little boy's shirt stuck up underneath the tree. The roots were exposed as it had washed out along the creek bed. When they crawled up to retrieve the shirt, it was the child. Something had twisted him up and crammed him underneath that tree, kind of like an alligator does its prey under the water while stuffing it under a log, except for this was above the water. Was it planning to come back to retrieve him, to eat him? Or did it hide him there so he wouldn't be found and it could escape? I guess no one will really know, but what we do know is a boat arrived. And when this boat arrived, it was government, military. They warned us not to say anything about the larger tracks, and they told everybody that the kid had drowned. And whenever one of the search and rescue team members said, "It's clear that he was killed, twisted up, and stuck under the tree," he said, "No, the child drowned, and that's all the parents need to know." There was a debriefing after the parents were advised of the child's drowning, and everyone was told it would be better for them and their families if they left it at that. These creatures are evil, but there's also an evil that protects them. I don't know which one is more scary. Mike, I felt like sharing this with you because I thought it was important. If you find these creatures, there is other evil out there to make sure that they stay hidden. Please be careful in your endeavors. I wish you well, and I love your channel. You will continue to grow because you're sharing the truth. One of your big fans, Dan. I appreciate that story, Dan. It is a sad story. It's a scary story. And I I don't know why this happens to the children. You know, the Cherokee said that they love to eat the children and steal the wives, and that's what caused them to not be friends anymore. So I guess it's been going on for a while, and our children seem to always be the prey. But you know, the evil one, Satan, he attacks women and children, mostly children. That's just how they operate, trust me. But I appreciate you sending that story in, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel, keep your kids close when you're in the woods, hold their hands, keep your eye on them, don't let them get away from you to where you can't be right with them. Don't let them go ahead of you around trails and bends and trees where you lose sight of them even for a second. Because remember, these things know the woods a lot better than you. They probably have their traps, snares, and places to hide already set up. But take care, guys, and don't be something's dinner. We'll see you on the next one.